Okay, so let's talk about when things go sour at the end, right? Where either the seller decides last minute they're not selling, or the buyer decides last minute that they're not buying. Oftentimes, apart from everyone getting their deposits back from the buyer's side, I don't really see any other recourse that forces someone to continue with the transaction if it's not related to, you know, the mortgage falling through or the financing falling through. Someone just changes their mind.
Right. I don't follow you.
So for example, you're supposed to close and closing day, and the seller changes their mind and they don't close.
Well, there's got to be a reason, right? There's got to be a reason why they don't close.
No, just
for the seller.
Just change your mind.
Changes his mind, her mind. They decide that they just don't want to go through with it, right? Have you experienced that? And is there ever really any recourse to force the seller to actually sell?
So you can do something called specific performance, which is basically legal language that says that each house is specific. I paid for this house. I want to move forward with this house. I'm going to do it. How often does that work out where the court forces the seller to sell the house and goes into litigation? I haven't seen that happen. And that could take years. Typically what happens is the seller cuts his loss. The buyer's like, crap, I lost out on this. I lost out on time. That's fine, but I'm going to get my money back, because if it's not your fault, you will get your money back. And then typically move on to a different house. It's a sad situation. That does happen sometime, but I've never seen the fact that the buyer's like, you know what, I'm going to stick around for another 3 years. Let's litigate this case and help me buy this house in 3 years from now. That really doesn't ever happen.
But if it's in litigation, they can't sell it, correct?
You can't sell it. You can't do anything to it. So it's just sitting there in limbo. Your money's stuck. Your down payment is stuck. He can't sell it. He can't advertise it. It's stuck, and litigation is going to take years. And
got you. So if you sue someone, you still have to keep your money in escrow for that particular home since you're suing.
Right, because if you look at,
you can't take it back and sue.
Oh no, it says it right there on the bottom. It's like, if this thing goes into litigation, the broker who's holding the money will not surrender it until you get a court order that says who to release it to. We can release it to the court, and here you go, court, do whatever you want with it. But aside from that, I'm not giving that money to anybody. It's going to sit there for 3 years until the judge tells me what to do with it.
So
I have a question.
Go ahead, Don.
So can they sue for damages?
You can. You're going to have to show what loss you had, and it's kind of hard to show what loss you suffered as a buyer, aside from like what the opportunity cost of maybe buying another home.
I mean, one, you told your landlord you're moving out. Now you have to get out, actually. 2, inspection, right? 3, appraisal, right? Yep. And maybe your agent charge you no matter what, right? So so those are damages, correct?
Those are damages. And again, that might be a case in the court. You can do a specific performance and tie him up and go after those damages. Chances are he's going to settle, right? The seller's going to settle, chances are. If he wants to sell the market, or she wants to sell the house in the market. Sorry, you came in mute. What?
No, I'll talk to an agent in the office. And with Carrie's question, right? I know you got 6 more minutes. With Carrie's question, I just want to understand, because I believe I'm a legal crook. So if someone backs out, right, and I have enough money for another down payment, regardless, I can keep my money in escrow, and for the next 3 years, that seller can't sell?
No, so next 3 years is a number that'll tell you as far as how long the litigation can take. Yeah, you're tying that seller up. You're not, that person is, you're filing an injunction with court that says you cannot sell this house because I'm taking you to court on it. And guess what? There's a form when the seller signs anyway that says this house is not under litigation. Now, if he signs that, it's committing perjury and fraud. You're going to jail, buddy. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of nuances that come into that. So yeah, we can tie it up. We can do all of that stuff if need be. And they will settle. They don't want to go to freaking litigation on this. They'll give you your money back.
They want to sell their home before 3 years.
Right. And then the interest rates, who knows what the market is going to be at that point in time.
Yeah. Wow. And have you ever seen this happen where a buyer said, I don't need the money, I'm just going to make the seller a living house?
Not, but we do make threats. 93 demand letters have been sent out, and then there is settlements that happen. It doesn't go to court.
All right, 93A, right?
93 demand letters, yeah.
Yep. So real quick, can you explain that real quick? I know it's in everyone's test, but can you explain the 93?
So 93 demand letter is basically it's chapter 93A of the Massachusetts general law. What it is unfair and deceptive practices. If a business is engaging into practice with a common, not another businessman, then it's under section 2 of the 93A section. A 30-day demand letter is sent out saying, here's my damages. This is what I want. This is what you did, XYZB. I attach exhibits to it because I want to be like, this is what I got against you. Here's what I'm asking for. Here's what it is. Come back with a good faith offer. Now, it's up to the judge whether whatever offer they come back with is in good faith. If it's not, then you can and will and may get up to triple damages on what you're asking for. But again, it's got to be a good faith. So if you're asking 50,000, you better have some kind of grounds to be like up to 50,000. You can't pull that number magically out of a rainbow. And then if you're asking 50 and that's a legit number and they come back and say 5, that's not a reasonable offer. So yeah, we're going to court on this and we'll see let the judge decide.
All right, great. Thank you, Britt.